So we are going to get started on today's Chapter 1 study guide for our math. You need to make sure that you correct everything that you missed in red pen. If you don't have a red pen, any colored pen will work, preferably red though. So number 1, it says what is the constant rate of change in the table below. Okay, we know that this is our y and these are our x's. And when we are trying to find the constant rate of change, it's the same thing as slope. So we can use our formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then you just have to label these as y2, y1, x2, and x1. So this will be our y2, and this is our y1. This will be our x2, and this is our x1. So now we just plug these numbers into this formula. So our y2 is 80 minus our y1, which is 40, over our x2, which is 20, minus our x1, which is 10. 80 minus 40 is 40, and 20 minus 10 is 10. Now what the y's represent are our meters, so it's 40 meters for every 10 seconds. And then you could divide top by bottom or reduce them by dividing them both by the same thing. We can divide both of these by 10. So 40 divided by 10 gives me 4. And 10 divided by 10 gives me 1. So 40 over 10 reduces down to 4 over 1, so that is 4 meters per 1 second. So our answer choice is B. Okay, now we want to find the slope of the line. Again, we can use our formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We do have to find 2 points. Okay, so this point is at 1. And 15, because 15 is in between 10 and 20 here. So this one is at 1, 15, and our next point here is at 2, 30. Okay, so we want to make sure that we are labeling our y2 and our y1. This is our y2, y1. This is our x2 and our x1. Now we just plug this into our formula. We have 30 minus 15 over 2 minus 1. 30 minus 15 gives us 15. 2 minus 1 gives us 1. And if we look at our x-axis, those are our hours. So our x-axis is going to be hours. And our y-axis are our wages. So these are going to be our wages. So 15 wages, we are talking about dollars here. So $15 for 1 hour. So our slope here is going to be 15 or 15 over 1, which is F. Okay, Selena babysits on the weekends. The equation y equals 12x represents the amount of money she earns. What is the constant of proportionality? That's just the constant rate of change. Okay, remember if we've got this, our 12 is in place for our constant rate of change. Okay, so this is actually going to make this easy for us. Our constant rate of change is 12 because you see it written here. Okay, the number in front of your x is going to be your constant rate of change. What is the solution of the proportion? So we've got 22 over 11 equals r over 13, and you can solve this by cross multiplying. So we are going to multiply 22 times 13. Okay, when we do that, we get 286. And we can equal that to 11 times r, which is 11r. To solve this, we need to divide both sides by 11. And 286 divided by 11 gives us 26. So our answer is F, which is 26. Okay, 11 divided by 11 cancels, we get r, and 286 divided by 11 gives me 26. Okay, number 5, it says what size can of soup is shown in the table has the lowest unit price. So what we need to do is we need to divide all of these ounces by our cost. Okay, so our unit price, we want how much for one of these. Okay, so these are going to go on bottom. These are our y values, and these are our x values. So our first one we want to do 0.79 over 10. Okay, and that's going to give us 7.9 over 1. You can divide 0.79 divided by 10, and that's what's going to give you, let's do this like this. Okay, and we get 0.79. Okay, and here 1.29 divided by 15. Okay, 2.16 divided by 18. And 3.19 divided by 32. This gives us a really long decimal, but if you can just round it. Okay, and so what we see here is that our lowest one is actually going to be C, which is 18 ounces. Okay, number 6 says a cyclist rode 248 miles in 4 days. How many miles did they ride in a day? Okay, when we are trying to figure out a unit rate, which is what we're doing here, 248 miles over 4 days. Okay, a unit rate has a denominator of 1, so we are dividing the top number by the bottom number. So 248 divided by 4, that gives us 62, so we ride 62 miles in 1 day. So our answer is I. Okay, this saying, the graph shows the amount of money Joe earns each hour he works. Which statement about the graph is not true? Okay, so we know that this goes through the origin, so we know that this relationship is proportional. So it says the graph shows a proportional relationship. That is not the answer because it wants what is not true. So it says the graph shows a non-proportional relationship. That is true. The unit rate is $15 an hour. $15 for 1 hour, that's correct. And the line is straight. We have a straight line, so that can't be it. So our answer here is G. Okay, number 8 says the table shows the cost for ordering a certain number of pieces of chicken. What is the value of X if the cost is proportional to the number of chicken pieces ordered? So what you can do is divide our Y divided by our X, and we can set up a proportion doing that. So $3 for 2 pieces of chicken, and we want to know how much for, put that on the wrong spot, how much for 6 pieces of chicken. So now we can cross multiply here. 6 times $3 is going to give us $18, and 2 times X gives us 2X, and we're going to divide both sides by 2. This cancels, and we are left with X is equal to $18 divided by 2, which gives us $9. So our answer here is $9 for each piece of chicken. $9 for 6 pieces of chicken. Okay, number 9 says if it takes 4 gallons of gas to drive 92 miles, 4 gallons, 92 miles. Okay, how many miles can be driven with 6 gallons of gas? We're going to put 6 gallons on top and X on bottom. Remember, we can cross multiply here to figure out our answer. We're going to do 4 times X, which is 4X, and 6 times 92, which gives us 552. To solve, we want to divide both sides by 4. This cancels, and we are left with X is equal to 552 divided by 4, which is 138. So 138 miles for 6 gallons of gas. Okay, Martin can travel 174 miles in 3 hours. So miles in 3 hours. And we want to know at this rate how far he can go in 7 hours. So 7 hours is going to go on bottom because hours is on bottom. And we are putting X on top. Again, you can cross multiply here. 7 times 174. That gives us 1,218. And 3 times X gives us 3X. To solve, we want to divide both sides by 3. This cancels, and we are left with X is equal to 1,218 divided by 3, and that gives us 406. So 406 miles in 3 hours. And our last one here, Bart can type 296 words per 8 minutes. So 296 words in 8 minutes. At this rate, how many words can he type in 20 minutes? Minutes is on the bottom, so we're going to put 20 on the bottom. We're going to put X on the top. So you can cross multiply to solve. 296 times 20. We get 5,920. And 8 times X is 8X. And to solve, you're going to divide both sides by 8. So we get 740 for X, and that means that it's going to be 740 words in 20 minutes. Okay, that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure you study, make sure you check your answers and correct all of them tonight, and I will see you guys tomorrow.